September 18, 2025, Bryansk region, Russia. A missile cuts through the Russian sky at an impressive speed. And that's a good thing.
Give it to us.
Within seconds, a military barracks in Rashitsa is destroyed, all captured on camera. A small, fast, nearly untraceable projectile. It seemed like just another attack, but it left many experts puzzled. Everything indicated that the attack hadn't been carried out using an American MS attack missile, much less a British Storm Shadow. It was something different. Something that many experts believe is what the Ukrainians, ironically, call the round bread. It seems innocent, right? They refer to it as a simple homemade bread, but this round bread has become Vladimir Putin's worst nightmare. And today, you're going to find out why. You see, the word Palianitsia wasn't chosen by chance. It's a declaration of psychological warfare. This traditional Ukrainian bread hides a devastating secret. Russians simply can't pronounce this word correctly. The differences between the Russian and Ukrainian languages make this word almost like a sound trap. When a Russian tries to say Palianitsia, he gives himself away immediately. It's like a secret password to reveal spies.
Say Palianitsia, not Palianitsia. Palianitsia. What the hell is wrong with you? I ask in Spanish, and you reply Palianitsia, Palianitsia. If you say Palianitsia wrong one more time, you'll get the butt of a rifle in your teeth. Palianitsia. You can say it slower. Palianitsia, Palianitsia. Palianitsia, damn it.
For centuries, Ukrainians have used this word as a test to find out who was a Russian in disguise. Now, it gives its name to the weapon that is destroying Putin's dreams. And this isn't just to mess with the Russians, it's calculated psychological strategy. Every time Russian generals have to report an attack by the Palianitsia, they get embarrassed. They can't even pronounce the name of the weapon that's destroying their troops correctly. The name already sends a clear message. This is 100% Ukrainian, made by Ukrainians to defend Ukraine using Ukrainian knowledge. Imagine the scene. Putin can't even say the name of the weapon that's demolishing his forces. But what really makes this round bread, the round one, special isn't the name. It's the technical features that keep Russian generals up at night. The Palianitsia isn't a regular drone nor a traditional missile. It's a mix of both. A new category of weapon that combines the flexibility of drones with the speed of missiles. This combination creates a completely new problem for Russian defenses. Let's get to the important numbers. The Palianitsia is 3.5 meters long and has a wingspan of 1.70 meters. It's a compact size, but it can carry an impressive 100 kilograms of explosives. That's enough firepower to destroy fuel depots, radar antennas, or command centers. Its speed reaches 900 kilometers per hour. That's much faster than regular drones. And the range? Well, this is where things get interesting. 650 to 700 kilometers. That means about 20 Russian military air bases are within range. We're not just talking about border regions, we're talking about important targets deep inside Russian territory. But speed and range are useless if the weapon is shot down before it reaches the target. This is where Ukrainian engineers have shown their ingenuity. They studied every weak point in the Russian defense system and created the Palianitsia to exploit those weaknesses. Now consider this. The Russian air defense systems were built with a specific idea in mind: to intercept large, high, and fast targets, like fighter jets, bombers, and ballistic missiles. The famous S-400, considered one of the best defense systems in the world, was made to shoot down threats flying at high altitudes. But their powerful radars have physical limitations. Because the Earth is round, this ends up creating blind spots. Radars can't detect objects flying very low. Palianitsia flies between 15 and 500 meters high. That's really low flying, almost skimming the ground. He uses mountains and valleys to hide and stays below the zone where Russian radars can efficiently detect Palianitsia. Resistance against electronic warfare is even smarter. Russia relies heavily on systems that block global positioning system signals, and that's one of the main defenses against Ukrainian drones. When you jam the global positioning system, the drone gets lost and can't reach the target. Because of that, Ukrainian engineers came up with an elegant solution. A dual navigation system, the Palianitsia uses inertial navigation as its main system. And do you know what that means? This navigation doesn't rely on external signals. It's like a very advanced compass that knows exactly where it is without needing to ask anyone. It's impossible to block. The global positioning system only kicks in when necessary. They're quick and sporadic communications with satellites to correct the route if needed. Like a driver who only looks at the map when he's unsure about the way. This quick and occasional communication makes it almost impossible for Russian systems to detect and interfere with a signal. Here's the smartest part of the project. Every detail of the Palianitsia was designed to neutralize a specific Russian defense. It flies low to evade long-range radars. It's fast to be hard to intercept, it's small to be hard to track, and it has navigation that can't be jammed. It's not a generic missile, it's a custom-made key to unlock Russian defenses. But why is Ukraine spending so much time and money developing its own weapons? The answer is in the United States. That's because the American government created an approval process that practically kills Ukraine's ability to use long-range weapons on Russian territory. For each attack with American missiles, Ukraine needs to ask the Pentagon for authorization, and that authorization almost never comes. The process started in the spring of 2025. Since then, practically no Ukrainian requests have been approved, and that creates doubts. Two serious problems. First, Ukraine loses military independence. Its war decisions become dependent on American political interests. Second, the time lost waiting for approval makes many targets become invalid. A plane that's on the runway today might not be there tomorrow. There's also the risk of espionage. When you have to send attack plans for bureaucratic approval, it greatly increases the chance that Russian spies will find out about the targets before the attack. That makes the process pointless. American policy is logical for the United States. That's because President Trump wants to negotiate peace between Ukraine and Russia. Stop and think. It's hard to present yourself as a neutral mediator when American missiles are blowing up Russian refineries. But for Ukraine, this policy is unacceptable from a military standpoint. And this is where the Ukrainian round bread comes in. The Palianitsia solves this problem once and for all. Since it's a Ukrainian weapon, it doesn't need anyone's approval. Ukraine selects a target, programs, and launches a missile. No bureaucracy, delays, or outside political interference. It's about regaining military independence through technology. But Palianitsia is not alone. Ukraine is building a complete arsenal of long-range weapons, each one made for a specific type of target. This variety is the smart military strategy. A defense system that was made to stop one type of threat becomes vulnerable to others. The FP-5 Flamingo is the heaviest weapon in this arsenal, with a range of 3,000 kilometers. This puts practically all of Russian territory, including Moscow and the factories in the Ural Mountains, within firing range. Its warhead, weighing 1,100 kilos, is 2.5 times bigger than that of the American Tomahawk missile. It's a weapon of strategic intimidation. The mere fact that it exists forces Russia to rethink any escalation. The long Neptune is the evolution of the missile that sank the Moskva, the most important ship in the Russian fleet in the Black Sea. The original version had a range of 300 kilometers and was designed to attack ships. The new version has a range of 1,000 kilometers and was completely adapted for land attacks. Its navigation system was replaced with sensors that can identify specific targets in complex land environments. This variety creates an impossible problem for Russian defenses. A Russian air defense commander now needs to prepare. At the same time, for slow drones, fast drone missiles like the Palianitsia, medium-range missiles like the long Neptune, and huge strategic missiles like the Flamingo. Each type requires different detection, different tracking, and different interception. When Ukraine coordinates attacks using several types of weapons at the same time, it forces the Russians to make impossible choices. An S-400 system might be focused on tracking an approaching Flamingo, while a Palianitsia slips underneath. Defense systems might be targeting slow drones while a long Neptune hits its target. This is called threat saturation. It makes the defense problem so complicated that some mistake becomes inevitable, and the results are already showing. Ukraine's campaign of attacks is causing significant and increasing damage to the Russian war machine. Let's look at the numbers that Putin doesn't want you to know. 15 to 20% of all Russian capacity to turn oil into fuel is out of operation. That's not a small amount of damage. The Ukrainian attacks show that they understand very well how refineries work. They specifically target essential equipment that's very expensive to replace. With Western sanctions, it becomes even harder for Russia to repair this equipment. The economic impact is a chain reaction. The reduction in refining capacity forces Russia to repeatedly ban the sale of gasoline and diesel to other countries. This cuts off a vital source of money. At the same time, it creates a fuel shortage inside Russia, which results in rising prices and a dissatisfied population. Russian diesel sales to other countries have dropped to their lowest level in 5 years. But the impact goes beyond the economy. In September, Ukrainian special forces destroyed parts of an S-400 system in the Kaluga region, including a launcher and a radar station. This creates gaps in the Russian air defense network, making safer paths for future attacks. The Ukrainian strategy also forces Russia to spend money unsustainably. Each missile used by the S-400 to try to shoot down an attack costs millions of dollars. A Palianitsia costs $50,000, $100,000, and simple drones are even cheaper. It's essentially a war of economic attrition. In other words, Ukraine forces Russia to spend limited resources in a way that it can't sustain. And the pattern of the attacks reveals something even more fascinating, a very well-coordinated strategy. I'm not just talking about random revenge attacks. It's a systematic campaign to cause a domino effect collapse in the Russian military, economic, and political systems. Attacks on refineries reduce money and create internal pressure. Destruction of defense systems makes future attacks easier. Attacks on ammunition depots reduce the strength of Russian operations on the front line. Each attack is planned to create problems that multiply. Destroyed refineries mean less fuel for the army. Less export money means fewer resources to buy equipment. Damaged defenses mean more vulnerability to future attacks. Internal pressure means more resources diverted from the war to maintain stability inside Russia. This is the future that Putin now faces. Ukraine is no longer limited to defending itself. It can strike any Russian target it considers militarily important. This capability completely changes the rules of the conflict, and here we come to the most important point of this story. Stop and think. Now, in future negotiations, Ukraine will no longer come as someone asking for a favor. They now arrive with proven capability to inflict unacceptable costs on the aggressor. The real threat of devastating attacks using weapons like the Flamingo changes any conversation about peace. Putin can no longer treat this as a limited military operation on foreign soil. The consequences reach directly to the heart of Russia. More importantly, this capability provides Ukraine with the foundation for what will be its security after this war. Regardless of Western guarantees, Ukraine will have its own ways to intimidate Russia. Any future aggression will be immediately retaliated with strikes that hit Russian territory. It's like a military porcupine. It makes the cost of any future war too high to be worth it. As you can see, the round bread, which Russians can't pronounce, has become a symbol of a new global reality. Ukraine not only survived the invasion, it developed the ability to take the war directly to those who attacked it. No place in Russia is safe territory anymore. Every refinery, every military base, every weapons depot is within reach of Ukrainian weapons. For Putin, this is like a nightmare. The war, which he imagined would be quick and limited, has turned into a confrontation where his own territory is under constant attack. The Ukrainian round bread has become a symbol of a Ukraine that not only resists, but can fight back. And that changes everything. Now I want to know your opinion. What impresses you the most about Palianitsia? Leave your answer in the comments. If you enjoyed learning how this weapon is changing the course of the war, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell so you don't miss any military analysis. And share this video with anyone who needs to understand what's really happening in this conflict. See you in the next video.